Okay. I posted a video earlier. Professor Sam Vaknin, Pete Sapper at The Chosen 144, Empath Uprising refers to Sam Vaknin's work a lot. Professor Sam Vaknin is he has narcissistic personality disorder, and he talks about narcissistic personality in a very blunt way. And I was able to understand a lot more about it tonight by listening to some of his work. And he brought up why the narcissist needs to discard you. Eventually, it always comes down to that. They may not do it for 1,000 years, but eventually they will discard you. And in a lot of ways, they mentally discard you very early on. They'll stay with you years and years beyond the mental and emotional block and discard. Just know they can be with you in their physical body and not be there with you at all, a lot of the time. Narcissists are very good at living in their head all the time. I spotted that immediately just from my own childhood knowledge and my own experience living in my head for a lot of years. I know all those tricks and techniques because I did them all. I was a highly narcissistic person myself growing up, and for a lot of years, until my therapy and studies over the years and a lot of my healing work really took a lot of that away from me. I was never diagnosed with full-blown narcissistic personality disorder, which is a mental illness, personality disorder, no. But a lot of times people are just really, really narcissistic. They're just really high on the damn narcissistic spectrum. We all have it. We all have it, and some of us let it get out of control because we're wounded. We're wounded. We're wounded. And for you jerks out there, toxic people being ignorant, thinking you know what it's all about and you don't, that shit made me sick. Those people coming at me. Some of his friends, what's his name? What's that dude's name? Some of these ignorant ass people that don't really know what the fuck they're talking about. They totally think a narcissist is some chick sitting up on the internet doing her makeup, talking about Starbucks. Far from it, man. Far from it. It's more like your homeboy sitting over there with his fucking beer, crying in his goddamn beer about how pathetic his life is, wishing failure on everybody. Oh, you didn't know that about him? Oh, gee, yeah, they don't show that to everybody. Just the women they target, if it's a man. Just the men they target, if it's a woman. Yeah, Y'all knew something funny was up. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all know. You knew it. Some of y'all told me. Y'all worded it in a certain way. I think this whole thing was very synchronistic in the last few years. A lot of us are just now learning what narcissism really is and what narcissistic personality disorder is, what narcissistic abuse is in a romantic context versus family context versus the individual. Yeah, a lot of us we're kind of picking up on it and talking about it together a couple years back, and we're like, is he a narcissist? No, he can't be a narcissist. Yes, he is. We've been watching. We've been researching. Oh, shit. Yeah, we all clicked at once, didn't we? Y'all, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Yep. Okay, Dr. Sam Vaknin was talking about how the narcissist, it's very complicated in their brain. It's so much more than a lot of these coaches and narcissistic recovery sites. Somebody that's dated a narcissist for 6 months and they decide to make a website. Well, that's helpful and all. That's going to give off some information, but we need to be careful when we share our experience, which to us is huge. Huge. It changed our life forever. But we still need to be careful when we speak to the public, and we need to let the public know, encourage the public to do their own research. Don't just listen to us. Our little fraction of a story, even though it is valid and painful, is not everybody's story. It's not all the information. Please encourage people to do their research. Check your sources. Go to as many accurate, reliable sources as possible and study this shit if you need to know about it, if you want to inform yourself, okay? Do case studies. Do whatever you have to do. If you have a therapist or you can get to a professional, ask questions. And a lot of us have had to live with it for years. I wouldn't know what to do if I was around somebody without a personality disorder, unfortunately. I grew up in it. Both of my parents, several of my siblings have different personality disorders. And I've attracted partners like that. I really would not know what to fucking do if I could get around somebody that could just not have one. Just like in a romantic sense, I've attracted that. And this last situation, okay, it has basically almost ruined me. It almost ruined my fucking life trying to deal with that situation. I did not know what it was at first. And I'm kind of angry that nobody in that person's life, as far as early life, something went really wrong somewhere. And I'm just like, all these years, nobody has said anything. Nobody has thought, hey, don't just sit there and drown yourself in alcohol. There's something going on with you that we need to talk about, that we need to have, can we get you some help? Can we direct you to the right place? Nobody did that. That pisses me off. And I personally actually saw times where that's why I talked to him for years. That's why I did that. I took my own goddamn time out of my own fucking life. I did that. Yeah, it fucked up my life. It did. It drove me crazy. It was a difficult thing to do. You are really going to go to hell when you merge yourself and you prepare to go down to the depths and the voids and the darkness of another person's soul. You better get ready for a fucking ride. And I did. But that's why I gave him that. I listened to him, and after he lost his child, all of this came into my life so suddenly because I knew he needed it. I knew he needed it. And it pisses me off. I watched over the years, sometimes he would try to talk to people about things, and he would get shut down. He would get gaslighted. Same shit that happened to me and my family, in my life. That shit happens, man. When people try to, that's what makes them that fucking way. Is that somewhere, at some point in their life, they were made to feel like shit about their feelings. They were, don't say that. That hurts my feelings. You shouldn't say that. Oh, that didn't happen. Either their parents talk to them that way, or blow them off, or whatever the fuck. I'm more angry about other people's fucking lives than I'm angry about what happened to me. Anyway, so Sam Bagnon was talking about how when the narcissist gets with you, the lines begin to blur. Well, I picked up on that over the years with different people. Granted, I have 4 brothers. I raised 2 sons. I have been around countless male friends in my life. I've always had people around me that either had anxiety or troubled childhoods, friends, and we would all counsel each other. Lots of discussions and learning. And so, you know, I care about and I know to a degree how men feel about things as far as their emotions and expression. And a lot of times it's really hard for a man to get mad at his mother, to even admit that he's mad at his mother. He feels immense shame, so much guilt. And if he has a mother that on top of that doesn't welcome him and make him feel safe to talk to her about it, be a big girl, take one for the team. Make your child feel safe to come and talk to you. It ain't about you. It's not about your feelings at that point. It's about your child. I don't care if your child's 40 or what. They asked you first. Whoever approached who first, then the other one, shut up. I used to have to tell him that all the time. I requested the conversation first, so let's take turns like that. If you come to me and request, hey, I need to approach to talk to you about something very important, can we please? Then it will be all you. I will not interject and make it about me, and I expect the same from you. Of course, that never happened. I always got interrupted, interjected, blame shifted, switched, deflected, and flipped upside down, but that's okay. But you guys, yeah, a lot of times men are carrying a lot of buried rage. I can always tell when a man is not in touch with his anger. I can always tell a man who is got so much rage inside and he's killing himself, drinking himself to death because of all that fucking anger that has nowhere to go, that nobody ever made it safe. Nobody ever said, tell me, talk to me. What happened? What do you feel? What did I make you feel like when you were younger? What did I make you feel like when we were together, or whoever it was? A lot of parents can't do that. A lot of the parents are narcissistic too. And they will wad up like a little 2-year-old fucking child and go off on the grown child or deny ever doing it. And it's all in the family bloodlines, and I'm sick of it. So, a lot of times the narcissist will get in your life, and Sam is speaking from the perspective of a male narcissist, but females do this shit too. And they'll get in your life, and I noticed those patterns in the past around men that I knew and some that I was involved with. Hell, I noticed that shit way back when my dad was doing it. And his brothers or whatever, some of them. I've been seeing shit since I was a little girl. And these people want to come in my life and hate on me because I have some knowledge. What, was I born yesterday? I hadn't been anywhere. I hadn't seen anything. I've been watching shit that I wasn't supposed to see or know since I was a very small child. And I observed and I learned that, oh, I see. The grown men, they have wives at home that are kind of like churchy and homey and, oh, okay, those are the mommy figures. Huh. They have these people at home that are like mom. Meanwhile, they be out at the hotel. And my dad never had another person out there. You know, my mom would be at home, but he would go hang out with his friends and his brother that would be out there. And I'm not going to say no more than that. Because of, well, whatever, what have you. I may have to doctor who can see this video and shit. I don't want to get like a family war started, but at this point, I don't even give a shit. Anyway, I learned very early on by watching the males, the male caretakers and the older men, watching their actions, and it seemed to me like a lot of them wanted to park a woman at home as a mother figure and go out and have, like little boys, little teenagers, they wanted to go out and have their fantasy life. Those are in their mind, the woman at home is either their mother. They either, like, their brain is really weird and rigid. It's hard for them to emotionally regulate, and I am referring to narcissistic men. My father was a narcissist. Anyone who uses other people to get their own needs met, and I mean use them in a really toxic way, even relies on their children. My father broke all kinds of abuse on all kinds of boundaries, all kinds of violations. But even just using your children too much for conversation, to be your buddies, your drinking buddies, any of that inappropriate shit, okay? That's still narcissistic. You don't use up the energy of other human beings for your fucking selfish needs when you are an adult, especially with kids, but with anybody, you take responsibility for it, not them. You don't use, and they'll argue with you and gaslight you about that too. Well, what do you mean? All humans use each other to get this, this, and this, and they'll try to back your ass down into a dumbass corner. No! That's not what I mean. No, they don't use each other the way you fuckers do it. Y'all are toxic and sick and fucking manipulative and draining. Y'all go overboard. You see, y'all will totally drain and abuse and bring harm to people to get what you want. Other people, they are interdependent, not life-sucking and codependent and draining. They will use people in a well-balanced way. We all use each other on this planet, sure. They will support each other, we'll say it that way. They will support each other in a way that keeps the circle going nicely and fairly, and no one person is drained out or manipulated or used up or made to feel bad, or no. But you narcissists go overboard. You know how you do it, so don't fuck with me about it. Stop that gaslighting bullshit. Now, next. I am so sad. I am so sad. I can't take it back. I cannot take this back. They are so rigid in their brain. They cannot have an equal, well-balanced, loving, normal connection with a grown-ass woman in a certain way, or a partner. They have way too many issues. And you'll hear them talking about it too and thinking about it. Well, if you do this, then I'll see you that way. And no, now I have, and that explains it. Narcissists, catch up. Go watch Sam Vaknin. Go study your disorder so you'll know what the hell we're talking about. They have these snapshots of you in their brain. The idealized version of whatever body they go out and select to be with, they already have the snapshot of you in their brain that you're gonna be like. And they're gonna morph you into that to the best of their ability. And they either, in my experience, especially the covert narcissist, I don't know about the grandiose narcs that much, because they're a whole different breed. They're more self-motivated. They don't have that much self-pity. They are cracked and broken and vulnerable inside, but they operate really differently than the covert, fragile narcissist. Those wear a mask of nice guy, nice girl, till they get you behind closed doors, and they're very snake-like and pow, 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 want to stab you from the back and chop your ankles off and fucking trip you when you're almost at the finish line kind of shit. So they can say, I won, yeah. Me, pick me. You know that saying? She's a pick me, he's a pick me. Okay, I find that that's really rude and degrading and invalidating to say about people, because it probably stems from childhood wounds. It probably stems from childhood neglect and abandonment. And that hurts, man. That hurts. And people carry that into their adulthood. Yeah, all of us want to be picked, don't we? We all want to be picked. We all want to be loved. And a lot of us are very, very fucking wounded, man. And so I'm not in this to bash people like that, to make them look like shit or embarrass them. But I'm sick of them fucking abusing other people. I am sick of what they do and get away with. There is no cure for narcissistic personality disorder. But I don't give a fuck. These fucking people have free will. And they can make the choice not to do this shit. They can make the choice not to hurt people. Not to discard entire families. Entire marriages for a 5-week fling. Think back to the Chris Watts murder case. A 5-week fling. Oh my God, I found my new soulmate. I found my new soulmate. My wife is boring. In my mind, she's not the beautiful, badass bitch that she really is in reality. Fantastic mother, highly driven career person, lovely wife, doting wife, adoring wife, keeps her physical up, lovely home, beautiful caretaker, covers all the bases, flawed like anybody, but covert narcissist can't see his wife like that. She's mommy. She's bad mommy. Bad mommy wants things done this way and that way, and bad mommy. You don't even have to do anything to become bad mommy, okay? But let me finish this up. And he wiped out his whole goddamn entire family. That was his logic. I found a 5-week fling. She doesn't know me. She hasn't been with me all these years. She'll praise me, and she'll think I hung the moon, and she's my new soulmate. I just don't need these wife and kids. I can just get rid of them. You damaged fuckers. Oh, the things I had to see and hear. Oh God, the things I had to see and hear over the years. Sometimes, it's like this. From what I observed, they either, and this won't be every one of them, they will all be different, but in my experience, this person was used to having people broken down up under him, needed his women broken, unhappy, or strung out, weak, pathetic in some way, helpless. I need money. Can you give me some money to survive? You know, used to having people like that or children around, right? And if they aren't like that, he becomes severely threatened. If they are on some other level of self-motivation, work, they got their own money, they're not trying to use him up. They're not trying to rely on him for every single thing and drain him out. Woman that's trying to work with him, that has something for herself and has all of these other qualities, loyalty and compassion. And no, they also, not only do they want the woman to be broken and financially dependent and physically dependent, all these other things, but they want the woman to be mentally and emotionally weak too. A cheater, a liar. They will provoke her into her worst qualities, fighting with him, attacking him. They will leave you no choice. If you don't fucking fight with them, they'll drag your ass out of the fucking bed. They'll wake you up in the middle of the night. They'll do whatever they fucking have to do to get you that way, as Dr. Sam Vaknin was saying. It's always beating down on the narcissist. I'm not perfect. I'm not godlike. I'm not perfect. I'm a failure. I'm a failure. I'm a failure. I'm not perfect. I gotta be better, faster, smarter. Oh my God. I have to control and maneuver and kick everybody out from under everybody. And I have to do all these things so that I can feel smarter, better, faster. I have secrets. Shh. I do things to people. Shh. They think that I'm their friend. Shh. I know things though. I do things behind their back. Shh. So they either need the broken down codependent woman in order to feel like hot stuff, powerful stuff. They are desperate for power. They don't know how to get it. Desperate to feel powerful, and they don't know how to get it. They don't know how to work on power in themselves. All right, they either need the woman to be like that. Oh, yeah, I get so sleepy. Or if she's not like that, they are going to become insanely threatened. If she's good and virtuous and honest and loyal and unconditionally loving, she works hard, she does all these certain things, she's not a sloppy old slack dog or whatever the case, going out with his friends. And, you know, a lot of these narcissistic people want a real low-life ass, low-rent ass, scummy ass, gonna fucking do your ass bad so they don't have to feel so bad. You see what I'm saying? So they know they're gonna be on that level too. And if they get around somebody who's good to them, who's responsible and normal, oh my God, they'll try to tear you apart. They will hate you. They will resent you. They will do everything they can to drag you down to your lowest of low nature. But like Dr. Sam said, the lines begin to blur with the man and his woman. The male narcissist and his woman. She becomes the mother. And I'd been seeing those patterns for years, man. And I had a snapshot in my head too when my last partner and I got together, and I went over it with him of what I did not want. I said, listen, there's a certain type of person that's been coming for me in my past that I don't ever want to deal with again. And here's some of the ways that they acted, okay? They balled up in defense mechanisms all the time and not very good with emotion and accountability. They just a greasy old type of dude that uses up women and wants to turn them into old hags and shit. Meanwhile, they're looking up the next skirt they can look up, and manipulative and all this crap. Codependent. And I don't ever want that in my life again. I'd rather be alone. You know, there's more to it than that, but I had this snapshot, this knowledge of a person that I had run into those types before, and I didn't ever want to run into it again. And that's exactly what happened to me, though. Everything that I feared, I somehow manifested it. And I wish I had not gone along with this role that I got put in, okay? But I thought I was helping somebody. I thought I was doing the right thing. I didn't realize that he had mental health issues beyond the alcoholism, beyond the loss of the child. This person has a personality disorder. This person needed help, and he was combating me all the way, okay? Yes, sometimes he would willingly go into rehab. Sometimes he would willingly go into certain counselors or whatever. But for the most part, no. He did not want help. He was not committed to that. It was just bullshit. It was a way to get a break, a vacation, a show us that he's doing something, whatever, okay? But Sam talked about how Yes, they get with a woman and she becomes the mother. And naturally, I even talked about this. I said, dude, this role that we're stuck in, this toxic little bubble, at first it was here to provide you with healing, comfort, peace, sanctuary, stability. And I thought that would be temporary and we would grow as mature, loving partners, equals. It's gotten worse. Me trying to counsel you and give you healing and whatever, and you're getting drunker and drunker, and you are regressing more and more into an infantile place. I don't want to be the mother. I don't want to be your mother. I don't want to have to be stuck too far over in my masculine either. I want both of us to work on our wounds, man. Work on our shit. Balance our energies out. And that just never happened for me. It went on and on, almost 6 years, and it never fucking changed. I don't know why I went along with it. There was so much involved. So much involved. And I did begin to pick up on the fact that the whole time we were together, yep, it was, oh, you're my true love, and I love you, and we're going to get married, and I got an engagement ring, and we're just, and he had a whole secret fantasy life. A whole life that he lived in his head, mentally, emotionally cheating, constantly focused on what's going on. Grass is greener. I might be missing something. I was used to that. I had to turn a blind eye to that all the time. And yes, goddamn me, it was devastating, betraying when I found out that he had his fucking picture on a sex dating site. What? No, God, no, not this again, please. And I went into shock, and I went into denial, okay, and I couldn't face it. I'm sorry, I couldn't face it for a lot of years. So I thought things would get better. I thought that if I worked harder, back then I was still wounded and having to work on my codependency issues, my validation issues. I still needed approval. I thought if I was the best girlfriend that I would get approval from him and his family, and that's back when I gave two shits about what they thought, thinking that I needed them to give me any fucking approval, which was the exact same cycle he was doing too, and he was taking it out on me, not getting the approval and validation he needed either. He needed to work on that shit in himself. So it was just going right on down the line. I'm gonna have to clip this video. It's getting too long. But yes, I'll come back in a part 2. That's exactly what they do. They put you in the mother role, and then they will end up having to separate from you. They want to separate from that. It doesn't feel right to them either. They resent you for taking care of them. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, that's what I got involved in. And yes, eventually they will discard you and go find another woman to be the big man for. Bye, mommy. Look what I can do. That's what it felt like. I'll show you, mommy. Bad mommy. Yeah, I got discarded as fuck. Alright, part 2, we're going to talk more about this. Separation anxiety, the discard, and the Hoover. When they come pulling you back, panicking, what's going on then, okay?